Murder's a mortal sin. You go to hell for murder.
Hi, I'm Tim Weaver from CMVG, and I'm here with Nathan Ditum from Access TV. How you doing, Nathan?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Good. So Nathan's the man who's going to talk to us about Silent Hill Downpour today. Nathan, you've been playing it. What do you reckon of it?
It's a return to a sort of an older feel of Silent Hill that players might be familiar from PlayStation 2, like Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3. It's got a more of a sort of walking in the fog and being attacked by horrible monsters feel to it.
Yeah, it seemed to have more of a Silent Hill 2 vibe. Would that be fair?
I think, yeah. Well, the dude in this, Murphy Pendleton, are they his shoes? Yeah, they're his shoes. He's a bit like James from Silent Hill 2. His hair is quite similar, and also the fact that he's the bit you're seeing here, he's in prison and you don't know why at the beginning, and there's that same sense of guilt that you get from James in Silent Hill 2, and that obviously sort of manifests itself in all the sort of the horrors which encroach upon him in the game.
So one of the things that people were reading in the CMVG review is that it's quite the pace is a little bit pedestrian. Would that be fair?
That's a diplomatic way of saying it. So you start off. Well, what's going to happen here in a minute is that you're going to stab someone in the showers, and that's quite exciting. So the beginning is like action, killing a fat guy, and then for ages you're in sort of a tunnel, and you're not in Silent Hill itself. You're in this place called Devil's Pit, and you're working your way through. And then eventually you sort of emerge into the town, and that takes a long time. That takes sort of 2 hours. And then, there's not. It's sort of almost open world once you get to Silent Hill itself. So the Silent Hill that you remember from Silent Hill 2, was sort of blocked off roads, tons of fogs. You will fogs plural, and then your sort of crackling radio will announce the sort of the approaching enemies and stuff like that. That is now sort of an open world thing where there are sort of collection tasks and quests that you can do along the way. So for some reason you release birds from cages, and those things are dotted around. There's more of a sort of an open area exploring thing going on, which does naturally slows the pace down. Yeah.
So tell us a bit about how this bits we're seeing now sort of marries up to the Otherworld sequences and how the two fit together.
You mean the Otherworld is in like the bad place?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
So the bad place in this is, it was one of the most disappointing things about the game actually, because I think in Silent Hill 2 it's sort of a rusted, horrible, bloodied wall, nightmare of this man who's obviously a personification of a penis is running around with a giant slab of metal trying to kill you. And in this it's modelled a lot more on the Silent Hill movie, which came out a few years ago and was sort of okay, and it's a lot cleaner, and sort of the transition from one world to the other is done on screen with sort of a flashing sort of an ember effect. It's like burning a piece of touch paper, that sort of effect, and it's a bit cleaner and cooler than I'd have liked. The fact that you even see it happening is a bit rubbish. And there's a moment, I don't know if we're going to see it in this video, there's a thing called the Void, I think. It sort of chases you through the other world, and it's rubbish. It's just like a little visual effect. It's not particularly scary at all. So I'd say actually the Otherworld stuff is one of the weaker parts of this new Silent Hill.
Interesting. And then talk us a little bit about some of the technical issues, because there are a few.
Well, so in this one, unlike the old Silent Hills, just as a bit of a context, it's a third-person camera following him, so there's a bit more, it's a bit more fluid, but the combat is still quite clunky. It's sort of one button to block, another button to sort of clumsily swing your weapon at enemies. So that's still a bit frustrating, but it sort of adds to the tension at the same time. But there's technical issues which are sort of savage the game really. There's certain points where the frame rate drops to like 1 frame every 2 or 3 seconds. It's that bad, and it sort of stutters. It works out its problems, and it sort of comes back up. But yeah, not good.
Not good. So, does it feel like a big world? Does it feel like it's got a lot to give, or have you, once you've played the first sort of 3 or 4 hours, you've basically seen what Silent Hill Downpour has to offer?
No, like I say, you spend the first hour or 2 actually getting to Silent Hill, and then the town is pretty big. There's a few, you sort of wandering the streets, encountering enemies, a few puzzles to solve, a few secret areas to find, and then you'll encounter sort of bigger buildings where multiple floors, various things to solve inside those floors. I think there's 3 or 4 of those, so they're sort of worlds within the wider world of Silent Hill.
So ultimately, it's kind of Is it worth Silent Hill fans getting involved in this? Or
The thing you always want to avoid saying is if you like Silent Hill.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I was initially sort of like, wow, this is a bit scrappy, technically not very impressive. But I found myself wanting to play more of it, and because of that Silent Hill feel, I wanted to get back in amongst the fog and all the horrible bag lady monsters.